Okay, so what we're going to look at today is a tutorial how to do a mini album using CD sleeves. So if we have a look, this is a CD sleeve. It's got a flange down here and an opening for the pocket. It's important if you do this that you do it with the crystal clear pockets, because you can get some that are opaque and it will spoil your album completely. So I've already prepared some of my sleeves and we're going to put a cover on them in a minute. So I have marked on here where my holes are on my hole punch. So where the actual punch comes down, I've put a white line and I've slid that in there so I can get it equal both sides, because if you equal it up according to the outside of the machine, it's not always correct. So check your how your punch works before you start. Okay, so let's quickly have a look at some of the pages that I've done. This is the first page. I've tried to marry the two pages up when you open the thing. This is one that has got sort of inspirational quotes and Christian Bible verses to encourage. Okay, so you'll recognise some of these. I think it was Beauty in Blue. So then as I open them out, I've got two matching pages. I've added a little bit of decoupage. Okay. So again, two pages that tone and picture. This one, Lord is my light and my salvation, so I've put a little candle in there. Again, these two matching pages. Another one. These are 3D butterflies, but because they're in the pocket, they're not going to stand up. This is one using one of the pictures in Beauty in Blue and a well-known text beside it. This one again, very simple. This is a backing paper which I've cut in half so it continues right the way through. And this one had I think a birthday text or something through it, so I've just made a white banner and put a little bit of green to match it, and we've got Faith is the bird that sings when the dawn is still dark, so I've put some little birds on that side and a simple ending to it. Now I can always add as many of these as I like, as many sheets as I like, but we're going to look at how to do the cover for it, and it's very similar to the mini album. So if I take this one and I measure the whole thing, it's 16 centimetres. Now I need a little bit of leeway over that, so I have gone for 17 centimetres, and it's this way is 13, so I've gone 13.5. Okay, and I worked out that this flappy bit here is 2.5 centimetres. So when we need a book to bend, then we need to do the hinge at 2.5. So I'll put that up to there for the moment. Same way as we did the mini album, I can just take that, and I want a little gap between. Doesn't want to tear properly. So I am now going to put, this is Scotch Magic. I've come across another product called Tyvek, which is a paper that doesn't rip, so I will start using that probably to do my hinges. Fold it down. Now if you remember on the mini album, we just took an embossing tool and just press down between the two bits. This is actually joining the two bits of Scotch Magic together, and it's going to make a very strong hinge. So there is my hinge. Put that to one side for the moment because I need to bring in my next one. There we go. And we need the same spacing. Right. You can do several layers of A4 card together. I'm using Mount Board because I want it to be something that you're able to keep using and it won't deteriorate. Fold those down, bring back in the embossing tool and emboss both sides. So we now have two outer flaps. I'm not going to punch my holes in here yet. I'm going to wait until I've covered it. So we're going to take this. Now, I wanted to put a text on the front. He leads me beside the still waters, he restores my soul. So what I did was I've gone for Ocean Breeze. And we're going to use that to cover the front of our album. So what I will do is piece of double-sided tape through there, through there, through there. Now I do want to be careful how I put this front panel on because I want the boat to be on the front of the album. So let's double check. There is how I want it to go on. So I flip them both and I'm going to that corner. So I'm now going to chop off there, and we'll just check before we fix it. So I've got my boat on the front here. Let's get rid of those. Right, and I've got enough space to go all the way around. So I'm staying as close to the edge as I can because I don't want any odd bits flapping around. Now we're going to use exactly the same technique as we did with the mini album that we did. Peel that off there. have a longer bit going through there. Right, so I've now got double-sided tape all the way round, and when we did the mini album I showed you how to chop the corners but leave a little bit here. So I'm going to do short sides first. So open that out, pull forward with both fingers and move your fingers outwards. Do the other side exactly the same. Fingers to the middle and outwards. Now it's the magic press with the fingers now. Take fingers and push on that corner so you're just denting that in. I'm going to push in on that corner and on that one. Right, so pull it to the middle and push your fingers out, and you've got no gaps at the top, nothing sticking out. So pull to the middle and go outwards. Okay. Check that your hinge still works. And if we have a look at this, I need to cover the inside here. So I've cut it 16.5 by 13, and that is going to go beautifully on the inside. Now what I'm going to do here is just go down that bit there, and then I want to go all the way around outside, just coming in a fraction of an inch. Remember, we've done ½ centimetre smaller, so we don't want our glue going any further than that. Now I'm taking one side off because then I can move it around here without any danger of it sticking, and then when I'm sure it's in the right place, let it go down. So we're only stuck here at the moment. I can now go in and remove all the extra double-sided . Make sure you've pressed all the way down, and we're going to take our embossing tool, and I tend to use the biggest tool to find where the crease is, and then gradually stretch the paper, and then I can move down to a smaller groove. Okay, so there's our front cover. Now you've got to remember to reverse the bit on the back. So I don't want to put the boat in go, on the back. So I'm going to take this bit, and I'm trying to get a bit of the seagull on there. So I'm going to take it there, move it in a little bit, and I'm just putting a piece there so that I can hold it in place while I trim round. Okay. If you're not particular about where your which part of the picture is on there, then I would put myself a bigger border all the way round. But being as the boat and the seagull are fairly near the edge, I'm having to work with what I've got. Okay, if you tear it short, just add another piece in. And we're then going to trim the corners. And we're starting with the smallest sides. Turn it round. The smallest sides, and then the magic press in on the edges, and on that side too. This one's already taken off, so beautiful corners on those, into the middle and out. If you press towards the outside and come in, the chances of getting a little crease there are quite high. Okay, so always into the middle and push out. Here's my next piece. To make sure that is in place. That back a bit. And then I'm going to make sure all of this is sealed right to the edges. Peel that up there. There we go. So take one piece off, and I'm going to get that onto there and fix that down, and then pull all the other bits out. So I now take my biggest tool, go into the creases, just managed to get the seagull in the top. Now, what I'm going to do now is to place these on the table, and to slide that in. It will go through relatively easy, and I'm going to go through wiggle. That was quite stiff for it to go through. Then I can take that apart, line those up there, and then I'm going to put that onto there. Right, so I've now got my ribbon, and I'm going to poke it through with the tweezers onto the back, poke it through, and back to the front. Right, now I've got a twist there, so I tend to just pull until that twist disappears onto the front and tie my book together. Now, a secret knot, you can tell I was a girl guide, right, is if you do once and then another one, when you pull it, you can twist it and it will stay exactly where you want to put the next knot on there. I'm not sure whether they called it a surgeon's knot, but it's used in the medical profession somewhere. Right, so we've got one little loop, loop, start again. There we go. So pull my loops a little. That's a nice size bow on there, and I will take my scissors and just slant the ends. So there is my little boat. Here is a little verse on there, and this is now my book. And literally these are just a few pence each, and yet they really give a nice sturdy finish. Now another secret I used is that all these square panels that are on the USB, if you print them off at 90%, it's exactly the right size to go in there. The smaller pictures I use as they were intended to be used, the same size, but I've put out a piece of the backing paper that is 12 centimetres by 12, and then just mounted these up. Okay, so it's a really easy album to put together and no complicated pages. Okay, so there is my mini album from CD holders.